Hi lovely people, in today's video I wanted to share with you what intentional dressing is, but also 5 tips that you can use to dress with more intention. I already did a video about intentional living, which I will make sure to link up in the cards, and a video on intentional spending, which I'll make sure to link as well. And I thought it would be fun to do a video about intentional dressing. So just like with intentional living, which is all about putting your energy and your resources where your priorities and values are, that also directly translates into intentional dressing. So instead of putting intention in your life as a whole, here we're just putting intention into what we wear, into the outfits we put together, but also to the items that are in our wardrobes. So putting intention into what you wear and not just picking the first shirt and pair of pants that you can find and throwing those on. Instead, just putting a little bit of intention into what you are wearing, what you're putting together, and how you wear that, how it makes you feel. It is all about consciously choosing the items that you will put together and that you will wear so that you can feel as confident and comfortable as possible. It's very much about personal style and not fashion. Because just like with intentional living or intentional spending, the most important thing is what is important to you, not what's important to anyone else. It is important to keep your values and your priorities in mind when getting dressed, but also when you are buying new clothes. So that very shortly is what intentional dressing is, and let's get into 5 tips to dress with more intention. So the first tip that I have for you today is picking 3 or so words to describe your personal style. If you have been watching more personal style videos, I am sure you've heard this tip before, but this is going to go a long way into dressing with more intention. So these words can look a little bit different for anyone, and they can definitely also change over time, maybe with the seasons, that is perfectly fine. But just picking 3 words, 3 adjectives to describe your personal style. So a little example, mine are comfortable, feminine, classic, and then also detail oriented. Sorry, these 3 words you're going to use both when you're putting together your outfits, but also when you shop for new clothes, when you are curating your wardrobe. And not all 3 words do need to go into each garment or into each outfit. It's perfectly fine if it's just 1 or 2 of those words, but making sure at least 1 of those words is in each piece or in each outfit does go a long way into making sure that your wardrobe feels like you, your clothes feel like you, and also that they feel harmonious, that they go together. Basically, the best compliment that you can get in this is when people are noticing that is so you. That sweater that you're wearing is so very you, or those pants are so very you, the dress is so very you. That's when you know that you're doing it right. So, for example, the cardigan that I'm wearing today, I think you could say that it's fairly classic with the stripe pattern, but also the details in this. So both the stripe pattern is a detail that I really enjoy, especially combined with the cable knit. And then just the cardigan in general is very comfortable, which also brings that into it. Let's take a sip of matcha. I'm drinking my rose matcha latte again. I will make sure to link the video in which I shared the recipe for this up in the cards, as well as down in the description box. It's so good. Okay, so then the next tip that I have for you is putting together your personal color story or your personal color palette, and also keeping in mind color psychology. As you probably may know, different colors can invoke different emotions, different moods, and different reactions, both from people around you but also from yourself. And that is something that you can very much use in your wardrobe and in the way that you dress. So a couple of examples. Blue, for example, typically is linked with very calm feelings, tranquility, whereas red is typically linked with high energy, with passion, sometimes aggression. So knowing that, that is something that you could use when you are getting dressed. Then also lighter colors tend to look more ethereal, lighter in feel as well as in color. Whereas darker colors will tend to look more serious, darker, heavier, You can also play with the combinations of colors that you put together, so keeping it very monochromatic, which will look very harmonious, or being more playful with the combinations. Going into the darker colors, maybe looking a little bit more serious, or into lighter, brighter colors to look a little bit more playful and youthful. Then something that I think can be very valuable is taking a look at your personal coloring and which colors look good with that. So which colors look good on you personally. Basically color typing. There are different systems of color typing, so if you like you can read a whole lot about that. It's definitely interesting to dive into a little bit more. So I do think it's very valuable knowing which colors look good on you, which colors look harmonious, which colors will make you look more awake and more healthy. And I'm not saying that you always have to wear the colors that look good on you, but it's definitely a tool that you can use. And then last but not least within the whole color category thing is making sure you're making your personal color palettes. This is a very simple tool that can make sure that most of your items will go together and that they will look harmonious together. Then we have playing with proportions. If you have been watching or reading more about personal style, I am very sure that you've heard about this as well, about your body type and dressing for your body type. Now this is something that I don't necessarily completely agree with, but there are definitely things there that can be very valuable. What I think is important to know is that you can play with proportions in order to highlight different parts of your body, or maybe camouflage different parts of your body, and that way being intentional with the proportions. So what are things that you like about your body? Maybe try highlighting those. Maybe you like your waist and you want to highlight your waist a little bit, which you can simply do by tucking in a shirt or wearing a belt. Maybe you really like your legs and you want to wear something that is more skin tight on your legs, or that's just showing off a little bit more leg. You can also look at different necklines, what they do for you, if they highlight the right parts of you. So just play around with this, see what works for you, and just see if there's things that you want to highlight. Maybe you like your shoulders. Maybe it's not something that is typically seen as in harmony, which most of those body type dressing systems are looking for harmony in the body, and that may not be something that you're interested in at all. I just think that it's important to know what certain proportions do for your body. So if you'd like me to go a little bit deeper into this, definitely do let me know. I could do a different video on this if you'd like it. But yeah, play around with proportions, see what you want to highlight about your body, see what you maybe want to camouflage about your body, and try to play around with your clothes in order to get the results that you want. Next tip is thinking about your undergarments. You may or may not know this, I have been working in lingerie sector for quite a few years, and lingerie is something that I'm really loving, that I'm passionate about, and I think the right underwear can do so much for you. So maybe you want your beautiful lingerie, your underwear to be seen, so a little strap that's showing, or a little bit of the neckline of your bra that can be showing. So you can intentionally use that. You can also decide that you do not want your underwear to show in this outfit and going for something that's maybe more skin colored, that is smoother. What I do think is very important though, whatever you choose, is to make sure that your underwear fits you well. Make sure that the fit is right. I cannot tell you how much of a difference it makes to have your underwear fitting you right. Also, underwear that fits you right is not uncomfortable. It is very comfortable if you have the right fits and the right models for you. So whether you're going for something lacy and colorful or for something that's more invisible, just make sure that it fits you right and that you are intentional in how you use your undergarments. And also just know that if your undergarments do fit you well, your clothes are going to lay nicer on top of it and it's just going to look a lot better. You are probably going to feel much more confident, which is definitely something that you're gonna want, right? And then last but not least, your clothes can reflect your values and your priorities. This, of course, is very big in intentional dressing, and this is something that you can very much use to your advantage. So you may want to look into where your clothes come from, the materials that they are made of, the quality of your clothes. Just decide for yourself what your priorities are with your clothing. So how it's made, where it's made, what it's made of, the fit of your clothes. These are definitely things that can reflect your priorities and your values. For example, I'm a vegetarian, so I do not buy anything that is either leather or silk, so anything that the animal has had to die for. If I do buy wool items, I do make sure that it is mulesing-free wool, because that is something that is very important to me. And when buying cotton items, I make sure that they are organic cotton. Even better if I can find something in a linen, since that is a fabric that needs even less resources, and I also just really like the feel and the look of linen, so you have that as well. And I also prefer natural materials over synthetics. So those are a few ways that my values come through into my choice of clothing. So that's it for today. Those were my 5 tips for bringing more intention into the way that you dress. I hope this video was valuable to you at all, you enjoyed the video. If so, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, which would really truly help me out. So let me know if there is anything that you'd like me to go into a little bit deeper, to maybe do another video about. Let me know in the comments down below. I can definitely do that. For now, I wish you a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!